Today we're going to spend some time talking about a drug, and that drug's called marijuana. Now, whenever you discuss this drug, it evokes strong opinions from folks. We've got people who will be willing to say, well, gosh, if you smoke it, you're going to drop over dead, and if you don't drop over dead, we're going to put you in jail for a long, long time. On the other side, we've got people who say, well, it should be legal, and in fact, I think it should be mandatory, kind of like smoke that, it's the law. So we've got all these strong opinions about this drug, and what I'd like to do today is spend some time kind of looking at the drug, looking at what the drug does to your body, see if we can reach an understanding of that, why people like it, why they use it, and what happens to them if they do use it. It's interesting, people consider it a harmless drug in many ways. Well, that's far from the truth, yet it's not the worst drug in the world. So for you to make choices and understand when you'll be faced with the choice at some point of using this drug or not, what does it do, how does it work, and how does it affect you? So that's what we're going to look at. What happens to you when you get high? And you know, whenever you take a drug, it has effects and there's side effects. For instance, you see it on TV now all the time. For instance, they say, take X drug and it'll make you more youthful, it'll cure your tummy aches, it'll cure baldness and make you 10 years younger. Then at the end, they have this little voice that says, also causes nausea, constipation, vomiting, diarrhea, intracranial hemorrhage, and death. And they say that real fast so you don't hear it. So every drug has effects and side effects, and let's see if we can understand this drug. This drug, marijuana, is responsible for 110,000 people, over 100,000 people a year, going to emergency rooms in the United States. So it's far from harmless, and something happens to some individuals who use it. To understand this drug, we have to understand a little bit about the brain. What we've got here is a diagram of your brain. We've kind of cut it in half this way, and you're looking at it from the side. And there's a part of your brain that actually is called your reward center. It gives you little treats and gifts if you engage in certain behaviors. You're kind of hardwired to do this in your brain. It's a powerful force for survival. And in your brain is this center, and when it causes you to do things, for instance, it tells you to get hungry. And when you get hungry, you eat. If you do that, the brain says, good person, here's a little chemical reward. It's the part of your brain that makes you thirsty, is responsible for your sex drive, so you can have more little people on the planet with you. It's responsible for controlling your blood pressure, your pulse, and your body temperature. So it's a basic primordial part of your brain that is a place also that drugs act to give you pleasure. And when you take a drug, you get that center kind of mixed up. And in fact, all of a sudden, it takes those basic biological drives you have and puts a craving for the drug at the same level of eating, being hungry, for instance, being thirsty, or even controlling your vital signs. So that's where drugs get us in trouble sometimes, because they act in this reward center. What happens to your brain when you smoke marijuana? What happens is you inhale the drug, and the THC molecule goes into your brain and attaches to some specific places. It goes to these individual cellular sites and attaches and causes disruption of the pathways in that area, thus confusing the mind, but also causing the pleasurable effects. Here we see some normal neurotransmission. What we're looking at here is one nerve talking to another. We see neurotransmitters crossing a space, attaching to the other nerve and sending a message on. That is the normal situation that occurs. When THC enters the picture, it attaches to a specific receptor, thus confusing neural transmission, causing the space to have increased neurotransmitters, and thus accounting for the pleasurable effects of the drug. Unfortunately, what it also does is confuse the basic biological drives that are present in the reward pathway, thus accounting for the addictive process. These are the areas in which marijuana goes and affects your head, inside your brain. And all these little areas are also where coordination, vision, your judgment, and your memory are controlled. In fact, some of the main side effects of this drug, aside from getting high, giggly, and happy, and the funny feeling you get when you use it, they're also directly affecting areas that are very important to your functioning. Let's start with coordination. This part of your brain is what enables you to coordinate your arm and leg movements, allows you to stand erect, close your eyes, and not fall over, allows you to run and to jump. The using of the drug impairs significantly that function.